What up, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I see all the time. It is why Tariq still doesn't have a car, and when is Tariq gonna get a whip? Because we see him on the bus, the train, the subway. I'm not from New York, so I can't really relate to what he be doing. But I know it'd be hard on a young player, so everybody be ready for Tariq to get a vehicle. And he's made a lot of money, so to explain why he actually doesn't have a car to this point, I gotta go back to when Tariq first got into the game. When he started working with Kanan, you know, that's how Tariq got into the game. He actually didn't get into the life or game, whatever you want to call it, selling drugs. He started out stealing and hitting licks with Kanan. I think the first thing we ever saw him do is he stole some shoes out of a mall, but he already had stole Angela's gun and brought that to school, and so we'd seen him doing some stuff. But the first thing he really did was steal some shoes out of the mall, and then shortly after that he started hitting licks with Kanan, and he was having a lot of success with that. Got into some stuff with brains in them that got Raina killed, and eventually decided he was going to start selling drugs after he stole some of his mom's pills and made a little bit of money. He said he was going to start selling product for Kanan, but instead of working for Kanan, he decides to set up Kanan to die because he had plans to get ahead of the game. Instead of owing Kanan the money, he decided he was going to keep it all for himself, and he stole the rest of Kanan's product once Kanan died, and stole Kanan's people, which was Vincent, the Italian mafia boss. So it looked like he was about to get ahead in the game and everything was going to go well for him. He had himself a nice gold chain and everything. But he runs out of product. Did not have a supplier to go back to, so what happened is he had to cut Vincent's product as far, and Effie saw him doing that at the school, so he gets expelled out of school and he gets kidnapped by Vincent all around the same time, all as a repercussion, basically reaping and sowing, how he set Kanan up to die. So now he was reaping the consequences of what he did with Kanan. He made a whole lot of money, but ends up getting kicked out of school, and then he had the money stashed in Raina's closet. But what happened was, when he got kidnapped by Vincent, Ghost and Tommy had to pay Vincent $2 million cash to get Tariq back. And at that point, Ghost found out that Tariq was dealing, so he went in and he took all the money that Tariq had been saving off his business venture. And Tariq's like, "Oh, you're just gonna rob me?" And Ghost had the perfect reply for Tariq, which is 100% truth if you know anything about being in the game. He said, "Dope boys get robbed all the time." So he taught Tariq another valuable lesson in the game. Tariq in that short span learned a lot of life lessons about being in the game and the things that are involved with it. So after he got kicked out of Choke, he moves on to Callister, and he starts working with his mom, Tasha St. Patrick, selling Dre's brick at Callister. He has his teacher, instructor, whatever, working for him, and they're doing good. They're making money and everything is going well. But he ends up losing all of that money too. First he had Dre Dre approaches Tasha demanding pay for the brick he gave Tariq so he could get out of town. So Tariq has to end up paying Dre, and he still has product from the professor, but around the same time he gets a message from the professor that's saying he's getting busted. Cops are on campus doing a drug search. So we see that the professor at Callister, I can't remember his name, but he got busted with Tariq's product. So that basically about cleaned Tariq out right there. We can just figure that Tariq had made the money back for Dre, but all the profit he had left was still owed to him from the professor who got busted with the product. And if someone gets busted with the product, that's whether that's you or your distributor, the person who's selling it for you, you're not gonna get that money back. That's another big L for Tariq. So he took the L from the profit he made at Chode, Ghost took, and the profit he made from Callister. Now his teacher gets busted with the rest of his product, and now he's not going to be getting paid for that. After that, he goes and kills his dad, thinking he's going to get a huge inheritance, but is left with absolutely nothing until he graduates from a 4-year university with a 3.5 GPA or higher. So up until this point anyway, up until the point he killed Ghost, Tariq would, even know if he had made money and actually had money stashed away, which he obviously we see didn't. He was broke going into Stansfield. But even if he had money up until this point before killing Ghost, he would not have been able to buy himself a car, because Ghost would have been able to figure out what he was doing. So he was trying to always keep it from Ghost, even though Ghost did figure it out, and that's why he called the cops on Tasha and everything, because he didn't want his son involved in Tasha's illegal business. So Ghost kind of had figured it out, but nonetheless, if Tariq would have got a car during that time, which, like I just explained, he never had the opportunity to save enough money to actually get a car with all the people he owed and everything he was trying to do. And another thing is he didn't turn 18 until season 1 of Ghost. So I know you can get your license at 16 in most states, but I don't know what the law is actually in New York. And maybe you have to be 18 before you can even get your license. So in season 1 of Ghost, we see that Tariq still does not have a car, obviously, but Tariq is now making big money. He has the app working at Stansfield, Course Correct, and he is working with Braden Weston, and they're getting paid big time money. But all of the money he's making can't go towards anything of his own, because his mother, Tasha St. Patrick, is on trial for the murder of his dad, and he has to pay Davis McLean all the money he has made. So all the money he makes in season 1, we see it goes to his lawyer, Davis McLean. He also made an additional $24,000 with Effie on homecoming weekend, but guess what? That all had to be given to 2-Bit. So the $24K he could have used to buy a car, he had to give that to 2-Bit. On top of that, Chase Weston, Braden's brother, stole a large amount of product from the room, and he never got paid from that either. And like I was saying with the teacher who got busted with all that product, it could have been his profit. The product that Chase Weston stole, he can just count that as any additional profit that he was gonna have without paying back Monet or going to Davis McLean. You can just chalk that all up as a loss when Chase Weston stole all the product because he knew about the hiding spot in the room that they were at. And the funny thing is, Chase Weston told Braden Weston the exact same thing that that Rock would always tell Lulu in Raising Kanan. It's funny to me how they said the exact same thing. He tells Braden, you forgot the magic rule. You forgot the rule, whatever he said. That's what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. So that's what Rock always would tell Lou. What's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. They always. So that's a sibling thing that we've seen used in two different Power series. I don't remember that ever being said in the original Power, but we've heard it said in two different series by two different people in the other Power series. So then we get to season 2 of Ghost, and Tariq is still making plenty of money, working with the Tejadas family and using Course Correct to sell product through Stansfield. But now he is now on trial for murder, and now all of his money is going to Davis McLean yet for a second season of this series. So yes, Tariq has made a whole lot of money since he even turned 16, but he has taken nothing but loss after loss after loss in this game. And honestly, that's especially when you're young in the game, that's honestly how it really works a lot of the times when you're learning how everything goes, because you got to take this loss, that loss in order to learn the game. That way you don't take, then that way you can protect yourself from taking that same loss again. Because when you're green and you don't really understand what's going on, you don't have your guards set up in certain areas where you can come in and get hit. Another thing Tariq really didn't think about when he was go back to when he set up Kanan, when everything started going bad for him. Having an OG on your side when you are young and in the game, that is a huge asset. To have someone who can school you, to protect you. I mean, Kanan would have been all that for Tariq. If Kanan wouldn't have set, if Tariq wouldn't have set Kanan up, Kanan would have been around to basically, he would have been there for Tariq in the same way he was there for Ghost and Tommy Egan, as their protection and as their teacher, to kind of keep them from making a lot of mistakes and seeing Tariq take all these L's. Even though if Kanan would have still been in the way, if Kanan still would have been in the scene, Tommy probably would have been killed, because I think he was going to have to kill Tommy in order to take over for Jason. To start working for Jason, sorry. So yeah, he was going to have to kill Tommy in order to take over as the distro for Jason. But if he would have did that, Tariq would have had a solid connect moving forward, and he would have made a lot more money. So that's why you always got to look in the game. You can't look at the quick lick like a lot of people do. Oh, I'm going to hit this. Someone want to buy this. I could make this profit, or I could just take the whole lick now. But they don't look at the long game. That's one thing Simon Stern said about Ghost. He always looked at the long game. But one thing that he said that the Ghost didn't do, that he was trying to teach Tariq, was he never saw from above. So he always had his mind on the long game, but he never actually saw from above. And Simon Stern said he sees from above. So anyway, he also got robbed again in season 2 of Ghost, this time by Diana and Drew Tejada. So like I've already explained, that could have been any additional profit he could have used to have for himself, that he could have possibly got a car with. That's another loss. So And then at the end, he planned to blackmail Mecca and get paid big time money. I think $1 million, $2 million, and he was going to get out the game. But unfortunately, that didn't work out for him, and Mecca ended up dead before he could get his money, because I don't think he's going to get the money. Anyway, Mecca planned to kill Tariq instead of paying him. So moving forward into season 3, about Tariq going to get a car. In season 2, we did see him driving. He borrowed, I think it was Lauren's car or Braden's mom's car. I can't remember who he actually borrowed the car from. I haven't watched season 2 of Ghost since it aired, but I'm on the end of season 1 right now watching that. But I know he did borrow a couple people's cars in season 2, so I do know Tariq definitely has his license now. He just hasn't had the ability to get a car. So moving forward into season 3, at this point, Tariq has no money. All his money, like I explained, has been either taken or went to Davis McLean and even Cooper Sacks now at this point. He has no connect. I mean, he's still working with the Tejadas, but the Tejadas killed their season 1 connect, Rico. They killed their season 2 connect, Mecca, who was a snitch. And so they don't, the Tejadas or Tariq, even though he's still under their thumb, neither one of them have connect at this point. Mike could think Lorenzo could be an out. Mike could find one. Kane, I don't know who gonna find one, but gonna assume they're gonna find one, and he's going to have to work for the Tejadas again in season 3. And I don't even know if he will remain at Stansfield. That's for another video. But now that Zeke Cross is dead, I don't see, unless Simon Stern can work something out for him again. That was his circumstances of being in that school, as he was going to tutor Zeke Cross. So I don't know if he's going to be allowed to even remain at Stansfield moving forward. And there you have it. Why Tariq St. Patrick still don't have a car, and we see him on the subway, the bus, the train, whatever they have in New York City. That's what he'd be taking instead of, or borrowing people's cars. Alright, leave your thoughts in the comments.